Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Super Jesus Jackson channel. Back at it again with yet another video, this time a reaction to the new trailer for Fantastic Four: First Steps. This movie comes out in July. It's basically around the corner, it feels like, and it's pretty stacked that July with Superman, James Gunn's Superman, and Jurassic World. It's going to be a big month. Fantastic Four is definitely one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Ever since they dropped that first teaser, I was like, dude, I'm totally in. I did a reaction to that. I was immediately floored by this film. I think I don't know, I just feel it in me. I think it's going to be quite incredible. But now let's watch the trailer, the first trailer, or official trailer as they call it. And we will see if my excitement is raised or if it stays in the same, or if there's some things that we should be concerned about. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out together. So what we're going to do now is react to the trailer and then talk about it. Before we do, though, let me know in the comment section below how excited you are for Fantastic Four: First Steps, and give this video a like, because, I don't know, just do it.
Wow, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head off into space.
Oh.
And come back forever changed.
This car?
Superman reference.
Our
Love
city,
it.
our planet, owe a debt to these intrepid souls. And while we can never repay them, we can certainly celebrate them.
Thank you, Fantastic Four. Thank you.
Thank you, Fantastic Four.
Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
Oh, Ed Sullivan reference. Oh my God.
Herbie, how's that sauce looking? Okay. That is fantastic.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You late?
I just said that.
Are you pregnant?
What? You're gonna be the best mom in the world. And you are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. We are gonna be the best uncles ever.
We can do this. Nothing's going to change.
Interesting. Oh.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
It's my fault. I stretched the bounds of space. And they hurt.
Huh.
Are we safe?
I don't know. There's not enough time.
I'm not giving up. We will face this together. We will fight it together. As a family. Has to be us.
We will protect you.
Oh my God. Wow. Galactus is going to be huge. Okay, well, it doesn't make me more excited. It's kind of underwhelming in a bit. I think the teaser was incredible. This was definitely like a trailer to show, a little bit of like, okay, it gives you a little bit more story, like everyone loves Fantastic Four, and then a new threat has emerged. Obviously, the Silver Surfer's gonna be a villain at first, probably, and then eventually will be a good person. I'm not too familiar with the comic run of the Silver Surfer, but I believe that is how it is. I mean, that's how it was with the with the 20th Century Fox Fantastic Four movies. Is initially Silver Surfer comes around and it's like, this is going to be a problem, this is a villain, and then eventually it sort of reveals, you know, what its true intentions are, and then, you know, it becomes an ally. Who knows if they're going to take that approach? Like I said, I'm not familiar with the comics, but and then, you know, it tells you a little bit about Galactus, and everyone's concerned for their safety now that this this being has emerged, right, and along with the Silver Surfer, and the Fantastic Four, like I said, clearly were loved because they saved the world in some way, shape, or form, and then they have to do it again. So this is not an origin story. I think that was fairly obvious from the beginning. This is sort of a continuation. We're just kind of like put right in the middle of the Fantastic Four here in their lifespan as a group. If we were to think of the Fantastic Four's timeline in terms of like movie sequels, this would be like the second film, right? Or like the second, or like, you know, potentially prequel to the third film, you know, like that's how like into the story of the Fantastic Four this movie will be, if that makes sense, right? I guess we'll first address the story aspects. So she's pregnant, and I believe this was a theory that some people mentioned. Obviously the name of the movie, First Steps, right? The first walking steps of a child, right? There's the metaphor. The literal metaphor, I guess, to a certain extent. I guess, yeah, I wonder what other, like, you know, metaphor there could be other than like a child. I mean, like, it's like first steps in terms of like, maybe this is a new beginning for the team, right? So they were taking their first steps into a new era in their life, you know, perhaps. I mean, there was the metaphor at first with the first steps in terms of like walking on the moon and stuff like that. But I think that already happened. Like, clearly the world's, you know, moon landing was the Fantastic Four, I think. You know what I mean? Like, or they're far beyond the moon landing at this point. So there's that. Like, they have a kid. I think the kid in comic lore ends up becoming incredibly powerful. This is a very powerful child. So, and I think they're a mutant. I'm not sure, but all I know is that the child is incredibly powerful. It's interesting to see what this child. See, here's the thing: is I'm not really interested in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole. I don't really care about that universe. So maybe the kid will come into play in later Marvel films. Maybe that's what it is. So that's interesting. I guess I don't really know pregnancy things. You know, that sort of narrative device is usually put into sequels. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's kind of weird that it is a little weird to have this be the first Fantastic Four movie, and yet we're just going right in with they're pregnant. You know what I mean? Like, or she's pregnant. I mean, it's a little bizarre, but I mean, it makes sense given that, like I mentioned earlier, this movie is taking place, you know, further into Fantastic Four's timeline, right? So it's a little bizarre though, given that it is the first Fantastic Four movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I gotta say that overall, the trailer doesn't really, it was just a weird tonal change. I mean, clearly it's becoming really serious and stuff like that, which actually is welcome given the teaser trailer was very, very kind of, you know, it was a little cheesy or whatever. And so this official trailer is very much like, no, this is going to be a serious movie. You know, there's some stakes here. And I appreciate that. Maybe I would have appreciated that being the second trailer. You know, maybe this official trailer should have still kept that you know, kind of happy-go-lucky, almost, Tomorrowland type of feel, you know, like, I wish that this official trailer would have just gone ham with that, as opposed to taking a more serious turn. It was a little anticlimactic, especially towards the very end with Reed Richards just saying, "We will protect you," or something. It's a little anticlimactic. Definitely not as good as the teaser trailer. That teaser trailer is incredible. This is nowhere near it. Yeah, the Silver Surfer is kind of, her appearance is kind of, it just looks like the Silver Surfer. I mean, also, like, I don't even know why I would expect anything else. It was honestly, she looks no different than what than what Silver Surfer looked like in the 20th Century Fox movies. And I mean, I understand that that's the character of the Silver Surfer, right? Like you can't really do anything different. but it's just a little, it's still weird. I don't know. It was very like underwhelming. It's like, oh, that's the Silver Surfer. You know what I mean? Like, and now it's a woman, I guess. You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't really care, really, honestly, until I see the movie. You know, maybe the character will be fantastic. I'm not sure. Yeah, and then we're just going right into Galactus, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, I guess at this point we can go through some of the shots here, some of the things that I liked. Obviously, we got the Ed Sullivan action going.
Astronauts head up into space and come back forever changed.
This car?
We got a little Superman.
This car?
Picking up the literally a green little buggy. That is what Superman does in Action Comics. So that's very interesting. That's a Superman reference right there, right? Then we keep going, and we get another possible reference. It might be a coincidence, but we get another one.
Our city, our planet, owe a debt to these intrepid souls. And while we can never repay
them, and we owe a debt, there's clearly, these guys saved the world.
them, we can certainly celebrate them.
Thank you, Fantastic Four. Thank you.
Thank you, fantastic.
Yeah, I wonder, you know, it's interesting, like, clearly this teaser trailer is trying to show that if eventually the community or the people start doubting the Fantastic Four, right? It's very interesting. You know, I think, and again, not to toot Zack Snyder's horn again, but I mean, the guy was well beyond his time, you know, coming out with a movie like Watchmen and then Man of Steel, Batman v Superman. You know, Zack Snyder was trying to, you know, do movies that really treated characters and superheroes with sophistication, and trying to do the, you know, I mean, they were still very hopeful movies. It was still ultimately about hope, and I think they were positive films, but they did, you know, show some sophistication in there. There's a little bit more darkness in there because that's real life, right? And it showed the flaws in people, and not only in superheroes, but in the people that revere them. You know, it showed the slings and arrows that superheroes have to deal with when being in a world, you know, like when being in the world, you know what I mean? Like you're going to get hated by half of the world. You know, there's going to be turmoil, there's going to be controversy surrounding your existence, right? And everything you do. In the same way that, you know, and imagine if there was a real Superman, a real Fantastic Four, you know, there would be periods where we would love them, and there would be periods where there would be controversy. You know, that's just what would happen. And so Zack Snyder was trying to tackle that, you know, and you know, obviously Dark Knight obviously tackled this as well. And I think Marvel, especially where it's at right now, where it is, you know, I mean, Disney as a whole too, like it's just, people are sick of comic book movies, you know, they're sick, and at the very least, they're sick of bad, mediocre comic book movies, right? You know, and even the ones that are serviceable, you know, like the ones that have come out recently, just didn't do all that well, you know, because I think people are truly just sick of the formula now, you know, and so now, you know, we still want our jokes and we still want our lightheartedness here and there, but we want some more, you know, nuance here in the storytelling where there's more real world aspects employed into the stories, right, into the films. And so this film is tackling, you know, a Fantastic Four superhero group where they're loved, and maybe there's some controversy as to their actions. Reed sort of hints at it. You know, he's like, we did things that opened things up for threats like this. And so there's a little bit of guilt, you know, and a little bit of the people perhaps turning on them, you know. I mean, clearly at some point there's allusions in the trailer where people are questioning the Fantastic Four. You know, they're questioning their ability to save them again. Maybe it's their fault, you know, that sort of thing. I'm sure they're going to touch on those things. And also, even on the DC side with James Gunn's Superman, who is, you know, normally a Marvel director with Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, he's employing the same things in Superman where, yeah, the people love him clearly, but there's also the other side that are, you know, there's shots in that trailer for the new Superman where he's getting like protested, and he's getting like soda cans thrown at him and stuff like that, right? And you see him like struggle. So yeah, I mean, and that's nothing new. I mean, like I said, Zack Snyder was doing that way before everyone, but clearly, right? These movies are being like, no, we have to change things up. We have to make them a little bit more interesting, right? And so it's really cool, I think, potentially, that we're going to get this here with Fantastic Four. And then it's interesting, this sort of 1960s aspect ratio here. It's interesting.
Fantastic Four!
Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
Yep. Look at the suits here. Hold on. Okay, this is interesting. I don't know if I like Reed Richards not having the white on his suit. I don't know if I like the fact that he's the only one that doesn't. I mean, I know he's the leader, but I don't know. It just looks weird. Just give them the white. Just give him the white. Just do it. But I love the suit. I think they look awesome. I think they look great. It's interesting. Like Ben Grimm has some. He looks like he's got some. I mean, they all have like belts and stuff like that. Johnny Storm's belt looks a little different. It's interesting. I love these suits. They're so cool, dude. They're so like retro, right? Like, but at the same time, like, really futuristic. It's beautiful. Okay, so let's keep going.
Fantastic.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You late?
Yeah,
I just
being
said
late for
that.
dinner is a crime.
Are you pregnant?
What? You're gonna be the best mom in the world. And you are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. We are gonna be the best uncles ever.
We can do this.
There's Johnny Storm's personality.
To change.
All right. Okay, let's keep going. Yep, things change.
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
Yep. All right. Doing the classic Johnny Storm going up to the Silver Surfer. We saw that in 20th Century Fox.
I stretched the bounds of space.
There he is. There's his
I
quote.
heard.
Are we safe?
I don't know.
Reed Richards doesn't know.
I'm not giving up. We will face this together.
Oh my God, let's look at that. There.
We will.
We got the Fantasticar there. Very, very interesting. Wow. The shot looks a little boring, but it's fine.
We'll face this together. We will fight it together. As a family.
Ooh. We got Ben Grimm over here. Slugging a ship. This is what some people said online. Were like, oh, this is a reference to Man of Steel again, to Superman, because we do see that in Man of Steel. But I don't know. This one's a little. It's not like this is the first time we've seen, a person or a superhero in a movie. I mean, well, I actually can't recall a superhero film where this happens besides Man of Steel. There is that. But in the comics, it certainly happened all the time, right? You know what I mean? Like, what other way to demonstrate your source of strength other than, like, fucking pulling a boat, a giant ship boat like this, you know what I mean? But people have said, I mean, and also given that it's Ben Grimm again doing, he lifted the car, he's doing this, and so people are like, why is there so many Superman references? I mean, the guy has super strength, it's kind of like, what else are you going to do with him? But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's not like anything he carries. It's like, oh, that's fucking Superman, but I don't know. Oh, that's interesting.
Has to be us.
Oh. Ooh, interesting. Things go a little haywire after that Ted Gilbert show, clearly.
Has to be us.
I like this end here with the piano. It's very pretty. That's cool. Awesome. Love that.
We will protect you.
It's fine. It's very anticlimactic, like I said. Yeah, and then Galactus is, shows the scale of how Galactus is going to be. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, like I said, ultimately this trailer doesn't raise my excitement. It just kind of keeps it just kind of levels it out, I think. It's fine, but I actually, I don't want to watch anything more. I think I'm just going to go into the movie now. But I now got, okay, we're going to go for some fun stuff and we're going to go for some serious stuff. That's clearly what, this trailer's trying to tell us. And, also to kind of just sort of, I will try to quickly address this, some comments were recently made both from Joseph Quinn and Vanessa Kirby when it comes to the portrayal of Johnny Storm and Sue Storm. Sue Storm said something like, or Vanessa Kirby said something like, we're going to explore some gender politics in the movie. And look, I mean, clearly, there's a certain camp in the world that doesn't really like when movies, go woke, as they say. And we've seen, that sometimes it does work, right, for movies. Sometimes it doesn't. At the end of the day, I think if the movie's good, it's good. You know what I mean? Like, it's not woke or not. You know what I mean? Like, if the movie's good, it's good. I think, to a certain extent, movie studios and stuff like that, and given our current presidential administration in the United States, I think there's going to be an effort to remove some of, just to, for the sake of, or more progressive, there it is, I'm not going to use the word woke, more, more radically progressive or just progressive, ideas from art and stuff like that. I think you are going to see a concerted effort towards that, just given the things of the world and given that, I think, to a certain extent, there is a significant part of the audience that is just trying to be like, look, I just want to go watch a movie, you know what I mean? Like, and so, there's that, and I think, I think I read somewhere that Disney did make an effort to, not be as, not be as exaggerated with that type of approach to their filmmaking. I do believe reading that somewhere, I'm not sure when, but, and obviously, we've seen what happens with Snow White. I don't think, the drama behind that movie and the politicization and the cultural problems, like, the cultural issues that, obviously that's not the only reason why that movie didn't do well, but, there's other reasons, but I think it was a big reason, right? And so I think Disney's seeing that, and this film, I mean, it was interesting hearing Vanessa Kirby say that. I mean, that could mean whatever, and I don't know if she explained, I haven't seen the full interview, but, I mean, it could mean a lot of things. I mean, this movie's set in the 60s, right? It's futuristic 60s. It's a different universe. But I mean, clearly it's a little bit more welcoming. There are, minorities in the trailer and stuff like that. It doesn't look like, it doesn't look like there's racism going on. Who knows? But it's an idealistic utopian type of world. That's what it kind of looks like a little bit. Not super utopian, but you know what I mean? It's alternate history, right? And, but I mean, if it explores it in a nuanced way, I think that would be really interesting. I mean, if it's just, just the generic way of going about it, I think it'll be kind of a miss, but we'll see. I mean, like, as long as you just do it in a really, in a really cool, like, really, sophisticated way, there's no problem, it can mean a lot of things, you know what I mean? Maybe she's saying, we're going to explore gender politics in a way that is more interesting than previous ways it's been done, who knows? Maybe that's what she meant. Or maybe it's going to be your typical way of approaching it. And if it is that way, well, I just hope still that the movie's good, And people also looked into Joseph Quinn's comments on Johnny Storm and him being like, the traditional portrayal of the character is that he's sort of a devil-may-care type of guy. He's a womanizer, that sort of thing. He doesn't really care about people's feelings, and like, we're just gonna not try to do that. That's not as sexy nowadays. So, we're gonna try to explore a little bit more, deeply, the character of Johnny Storm and why he has this ego and like, just explore it in a more nuanced way rather than just showing him be a womanizer and stuff like that. Look, I mean, to a certain extent, I think the womanizer aspect of Johnny Storm, I think is, it's kind of weird to just make that a central core of the character because it truly is such a it's such a whatever thing characteristic, you know. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think that's literally, there's a reason why he's portrayed like that, and that's because that's what it was in the comics, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, you know, like, that is what it is, you know? It's kind of like James Bond, like, him being a womanizer is kind of also really, really attached to his character. I mean, is it the core of him? No, but, like, it's a part of him, right? And so, in a way, it's just become so ubiquitous. And so in the same way, Johnny Storm, I kind of see the same thing. It's like, can we at least have one scene where he's like flirting at least, you know, like, like, because that's what he does, you know, like, can we at least do that? You know what I mean? We don't have to go the full womanizer route, you know, because that, you know, that's not necessarily the best thing also to show, you know, you know, like, I don't think kids should be, you know, looking up to a womanizer, you know, I don't think that's a good thing. But, you know, can you make him flirtatious? You know what I mean? Like, can you make him a guy that's trying to pursue, you know, like, and stuff like that? I mean, come on, like, can we at least do that? You know, hopefully. And if, you know, we don't do that, or if we do a little bit of that, and we get a little bit more of a nuanced take on his character, and we understand, you know, maybe he went through some shit, you know, and that's why he has this ego and is this insecurity, you know, and if they tackle it in a very sophisticated way, I think it'd be really interesting. So I'll take that too, you know, and that's not, you know, being woke. That's just making a good story, you know, because woohoo, men are complex characters. Can you fucking believe that? So yeah, who knows? I'm interested to see what they do. So I think I'm done watching trailers for now, unless something massive happens. But I'm excited to see the movie. You know, we'll see what they do. But anyway, those are my long thoughts on Fantastic Four: First Steps. Let me know in the comment section below what you have to say about this trailer. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Does this raise your excitement? Does it kind of level you off a little bit? Does it disappoint you? Let me know in the comment section. Give this video a like if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content and you want to see more stuff like this. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Oh God, you beautiful creature. But I think that's it for me. You all take care. Stay safe. And until next time, I love you.